Hi guys. This is where I had left off from part 3. Um, I was discussing the time of the NATO summit and the annular solar eclipse that will be happening at about the same time as this event, May the 20th through the 21st. When I thought about it, it gave me a few more hours to think about this. Now, about them having the summit on that very day of the eclipse. Now, some event that they know about is going to occur on this day. Now, what? Your guess is as good as mine. But I was saying earlier about the astronomical event or some other type of event, whether it's natural or man-made, to cause this event to happen, that I had brought up a scripture in the Bible from Isaiah 24:20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And in the words of the in Hebrew, which is sukkot, which is a tabernacle or a tent, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And the word for transgression in Hebrew also is called pasha, Pesha, and excuse my pronunciation of the Hebrew. It means a revolt, either a national, moral, or religious rebellion against sin, or transgression, and transpassive. So it sounds to me like what I had to try to discuss earlier is that it could be a judgment, and that they know that there might be an event, a devastating event to occur on that day. And because why would they be, the NATO be there on that day if something wasn't going to occur? It is just my thought. And the eclipse, the cities where you can see this eclipse are in the Asian cities of Taipei, Hong Kong, Guangzhou, okay, that's in China. It's a town in China, and excuse my pronunciation of that too. Osaka, which is in Japan, Tokyo, Japan, and Beijing. The American and Canadian cities that will also see this eclipse are Reno, Carson City, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Anchorage, Alaska, Los Angeles, California, San Francisco, California, Seattle, Washington, and Vancouver. That's in Canada. And it says that some national parks in the western USA, as well as Grand Canyon, will be hotspots for the people that will see this eclipse, depending on what will happen on that day. And so all I can say, this is just be a heads up for these cities. And since there are some flooding going on in some places in the world, particularly Iran, I have some information on that too, about some devastating flooding happening in Iran. And with this eclipse occurring, there was also a solar pole shift that was to occur, and I don't remember the date. Excuse me a second, and I'll be right back. I have to find that date. Okay, this comes from a Japan newspaper, the Daily Yomiuri online, and the scientist here states that solar poles are to become quadrupolar in May, Okay, this is a magnetic field polarity at the solar poles. It will reverse on the sun, and meaning that the positive poles will emerge in the north and south poles, and negative fields will emerge on the equator of the Earth, I believe. This was according to the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan and other institutes. There was a similar phenomenon that occurred 300 years ago where the Earth's average temperature fell slightly. It says a research team led by Saku Soneta, a professor at the observatory, analyzed solar magnetic fields data using a high node, and observational satellite, and confirmed that the polarity of the magnetic field at the North Pole began to reverse in July last year. So they don't have a date here, but there's something else I found. This was written on April the 21st, 2012. I'm thinking, well, I'm not sure the date. I think it's middle part of May. But what I'm saying is that, well, what they're saying is that this could cause the shifts in the polar fields, which would cause a polar shift, is basically what they're saying. And so we need to keep our eyes on this. And once the solar poles become, well, they reverse themselves, so that means that the poles on the Earth would also reverse. And in the scripture I just gave you from Isaiah, that's what would occur. So it was like everything would be stretched, and that the oceans would come inland as the land masses become stretched, and the oceans just totally go the opposite direction, right? And so that's all I wanted to show you there, from the Japan observatory in regards to the pole shift on the sun and what effects that it will have on the Earth. And since this, what I was saying about the eclipse here, you get what I'm saying at this point. So the solar eclipse that is going to take place along the Pacific Oceans, all I can say, if you live on the Pacific Coast and the East Coast, I would say start making plans. Okay, that's all I have to say. It's kind of hard for me to say this because like I said, I'm not going to start like any type of panic or fear or anything like that. I'm just going to give you this information, and you take it as that. And I'm going to leave links to everything, and you can look at all these diagrams. If there's any maps I have, and you have a close examination for yourself. There's also, and I wanted to talk about the partial lunar eclipse, which will be on June the 4th, and this will be a blood moon. And you see the diagram here as the moon moves past the Earth here, through the Earth's circle, if you see it there. I don't know if it'll pass by again. But let's see, you can see it if you live in Australia. It says you can see it visibly from there, rising over eastern Asia and setting over western North America. Okay, which is very interesting. And as I said before, that the red moon or blood moon is a sign that they're of the sword, or which is war, and famine, or both. And New England and eastern Canada will miss the entire eclipse, since the event begins at moonset in these regions. So there's a lot going to be going on these next 2 months, May and June. And there's a possibility that there will be a war between Israel and Iran, because I found something on that also. I'll get to that here in a second. It says that a warning as early as June, by June, or as early as July, or even like a little bit before that. The message was given by General Panetta, saying that Israel will strike Iran, which may mean trouble for the United States, and judgment coming upon the United States. Here's the where I had left off about Leon Panetta predicting that Israel's strike on Iran will be somewhere around sometime in June, and it is also reported in the Ynet news from Israel, from the Middle East, in regards to Israeli attack will prompt Pakistani response, and says that the world's counting down to D-Day, after the U.S. Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta estimated that Israel would attack Iran by June, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned that the government officials against Iran chatter. And a European diplomat based in Pakistan says that if Israel does attack, that Islamabad will have no choice but to support any Iranian retaliation, and so forth. I'll leave links to these because I'm running short here. And here's an interesting article: is why Obama broadcast Israeli attack on Iranian nuclear weapon program in Iran. And you really need to read this too. So it's, why is Israel instigating this, is my question. And on May the 24th and the 31st, okay, this is going to be around the week of the Lord's Feast of Pentecost, that the U.S. and Russia are going to hold a joint drill in May. Now, according to this, is that the airborne assault forces from Russia is coming to the United States for the very first time for a joint anti-terror exercise drill, as they say, in Fort Carson, Colorado. Okay, the Russians are going to be on our soil, because the Russian Defense Minister spokesperson, Colonel Alexander, excuse my pronunciation of the name, but he announces that the plan is that the Russian Airborne Command will contribute a special task group that will practice with U.S. Special Service weapons, not with our troops, but with weapons. I'll finish this off in an addendum and at the end. Bye.